Hi guys and welcome back to the channel and welcome to what will be my reaction to the first 13 break time shorts of season 2. So the first half of season 2 we did finish it very recently, and yeah, that's something I need to apologize for. There have been no ReZero uploads, barely any uploads on the channel in the past week or so. I did get sick, my throat is still not 100% but it's about 90%, so I'm gonna try and get this out there, especially when I've got a busy week coming up. So, I need to really try to get some stuff out this week or it'll be another week of nothing. So, forgive me if my voice sounds weird at any point, if, I start to complain or anything, or if you see me holding my throat or anything. It's nothing too serious, I'm just a little sore. But yeah, apologies for that, for the lack of uploads. It was not something I foresaw coming, and yeah, we're going to get right into this. I have no idea what's to come from these break times. I know the break times that we checked out a while ago were very fun for season 1. They were a ton of fun. They shed some light on some really important aspects, especially the break times. The petite times, not so much. I will personally say that I did prefer the petite times because they were so outlandish and so silly. They just really brought a smile to my face. But the break times, they definitely had some shit going on there. They had some lower drops. They had some important information that really should have been in the episodes that were within those break times themselves. So I hope we get more of that here. I don't know what's to come, like I said, if we're gonna, be showing stuff within the episodes themselves, or if it's going to be related to other stuff within the series, maybe characters that we haven't seen this season. And another thing that I just want to say, I did consider streaming this, like I did for the past time that I checked out the break times, petite times and everything, but like I said, my throat, it's not the best. I don't really want to push myself to have to commit to a stream, one where I will have to talk consistently, whereas, for a video like this, if I need to take a 5-10 minute break, I can go do that. I can just cut that out of the video. You guys won't even notice. I just didn't want to commit to a stream just in case I push myself too hard and made things even worse. So sadly, I am not streaming this. I would have loved to, because the last stream that I did for the petite times, break times was so much fun. But yeah, we're just going to check this one out. Apologies, I've just been, kind of almost complaining about my health this entire time. I hope that you guys have had a great time. I'm sorry for the lack of uploads, like I said, but we're going to check this one out. I'm really excited for it. Break times are always a ton of fun. We got 13 of them to go through. Not as many as the last time, but still 13 is quite a bit. So we're going to see what they have in store for us. If you guys do enjoy this video and any of the other ReZero videos that I've been uploading, please leave a like and subscribe if you have not done so already, and comment down below letting me know which of these break time shorts was your favorite, any important information within these break time shorts that you're very surprised were not included in the episodes themselves. And if you want to be notified when these ReZero videos go live or any other videos on the channel, hit the bell button down below. We will be finishing Frieren this week, which is crazy. So I'm going to have to start thinking of something else to watch. And yeah, hit that bell to be notified when that new series, whatever happens to be, begins getting uploaded. And yeah, that's going to do it for me. I'm going to just jump right into it. So ReZero break time shorts. Let's go. Alright, break time number 1, we're just going to jump right into it. Otto! Suen! Did we even know his surname up until this point? Okay, diary. Otto's diary. We're getting an insight into his recordings. Certainly has. That makes sense. That's pretty grim. But like, yeah, we've seen you die a couple of times at this point. Not good. Just don't skip forward a few episodes, Otto. That you are. He certainly is. Is this a little insight that you're gonna be announcing your friendship with him very soon, actually? Oh, there it is. Yeah. Kararagi, that's the second time we've heard that. Ew, perverted.
今から変態ピエロと対峙するんだ。メイザース辺境博のことはよく存じ上げませんが。
Why are they saying it like that? Yeah, I'd be worried too.
商人としての誇りがあるとか言ってただろ。しっかり。いや、ありますよ。ありますけど。あれ、僕夏希さんにそんなこと言いましたっけ？言った言った。わかんねえけど多分言ってた。
I don't know when. Probably.
しっかり変態ピエロと戦って。わかりました。わかりましたよ。誇りにかけてしっかり戦ってきますよ。その変態ピエロとやらと。
Yep, use your pride, alright. Here we go. Oh, for sure. He's always putting on a brave face. That we will. Something legendary. 伝説の商人オットー・リッシュデンみたいな。早くしねえと変態ピエロが2人に増えるぞ。増える出会いのものなんですか？早くしろ。はいはいはい、わかりました。行きます行きます。 So this is a...
3人に増えたぞ。そこまで気軽に増え。
Oh no, 3 of them. That was really interesting from the point of view of Otto being someone who just wants to talk about his chronicles and talk about his friendship that is blossoming with Subaru. Because at this point in the series, we've kind of been led to believe that all he cares about is making money, selling this oil, all of this stuff. Like that's kind of what we've been given, what we've been told. But this break time very clearly shows that what's on his mind and what he's thinking about the most is Subaru and that friendship that is coming out of this. You know, so I think that this is honestly a great break time to accompany those episodes because it gives you a different insight. It gives you a different peek behind the curtain as to the real Otto, the person behind the what Subaru essentially has been leading us to believe Otto's all about. Everything that we've seen so far has, like, that we were believing at this point is all kind of like stuff that Subaru was saying, you know, like, oh, you want the money, you want the seal, you want this, you want that, you want an in with Roswell, you're just doing this for your own personal gain. Like, that's what we've been told time and time again by Subaru. And Otto never really denies it, so it's very easy to buy into that. But this break time was great for showcasing that as early on as this, he has been thinking about wanting that friendship with Subaru. That's all he can think about, all he cares about. Even saying maybe something legendary will come out of this. I wonder if that's foretelling way down the line. Maybe some sort of, like, if you look back at this moment, you know, 5 arcs down the line, this will be very ironic or very funny or very on the nose, I guess you could say. And who knows, maybe I know that I was saying during the episode reactions, I was like, oh, I think that Subaru is the one who wrote the Tome of Wisdom. Maybe the Tome of Wisdom documents Subaru's experiences, but maybe it was actually Otto that wrote them. Maybe that's the case because we're seeing him writing now. He's talking about a legendary diary. You know, there's too many things being said here that feel very, in some way, like they're poking at something else. I don't know if that makes sense. Something I will say as well is I feel like Otto's chibi design is much more fleshed out, much more almost like better designed, I would say, than Subaru's, because Subaru's looks like it just came straight out of the season 1 shorts, the break time and petite time shorts, whereas Otto's, you can tell that they had to create that from scratch for this season, and it looks like they went a little further beyond than they did for any of the other chibi versions of the characters from season 1. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, he looks like a small person opposed to a chibi-fied version almost. Like I don't know if what I'm saying makes any sense here, but Subaru always tricking and always playing tricks on Otto. I'm excited to see more of these guys' relationship going forward. In the same vein that I want to see more Julius and Subaru, I need to see more Otto and Subaru, like where they're actually friends and where they're actually doing things together and where they're actually, working together. I think that that's going to be a ton of fun, and I know we're going to get that immediately, I presume, at the start of the second half of the second season, because that's how we ended off season 2. I'm not sure there's much more to talk about for this one. He does kind of draw attention to a couple of things, Otto, here. One being that it seems like Subaru always has this memory of Otto that Otto doesn't have this memory of, like things that other characters have said throughout the series, where it's like, it's almost like you've known me longer than I've known you, even though we've known each other as long as, you've been here. It's type of stuff. And another being that he thinks Subaru might be from Kararagi. Jeez, that's hard to say. And that's, I think, the second time we've heard something like that. I think we heard it back with Krush, maybe, in season 1. That's interesting. I wonder if we're ever going to go to that land in a future season, in a future arc or anything like that, because they keep making mention of it, so it would make sense to go there eventually. But yeah, we're gonna jump right into this next one now, when there are 3 Roswalds, of course, and see what we get. I wonder if we're gonna continue this Otto diary type format for these break times, or if we're gonna see other stuff, and this was just for the first episode. All right, let's see what the second one has in store for us. It looks like it says Otto's diary here again, so that might be the format for all of these. I guess we'll see. So here we go. Otto Nikki. In the mother's mansion. Episode 2, we went to see Frederica, right? Just get involved with me. This is the conversation that Otto ratted out Emilia for. You're monologuing, Petra. She's a little Petra. Oh my god. A relationship? She's got a crush. Because he wants to meet Roswell, of course. Oh, he's plenty useful, don't you worry, Petra. We've seen it firsthand. Your voice is too loud, Petra. What for? Ah, that's certainly true. Well, you say it's okay, but you don't know what's to come for you, Petra. Some really awful shit. Okay, Petra. Okay. You should be at home with your family, Petra. You're like a 5-year-old. Not literally. Otto. Otototo-san. Yeah, so this one definitely did not have anywhere near as much in the way of insight, you know, for the series itself. I guess the only real insightful thing was the conversation Emilia was having with Frederica about Subaru. We got a little glimpse into that, and we learned that Otto feels jealous. He feels jealous of that relationship. Like, uh, the thing that's interesting here is that Otto might be viewing that as a friendship, you know, that relationship. And so he feels jealous of that friendship because he's not there with Subaru. And he feels like he has this, you know, close enough connection with Subaru that he could be friends with him. So he feels some jealousy in that aspect. And then that's why, of course, later on in this break time, he asks Petra if she has a relationship with him, you know, meaning friendship once again or something like that. Or maybe even just in general, like a relationship in the terms of like any sort of bond whatsoever, because Otto still feels like he doesn't really have that with him, but he would like to. And that's, I think, the common thread between the first and second break times here. We're continuing to see Otto wanting to be friends with Subaru here, and that's something really beautiful and really honestly pure within these. I know that this one didn't really have a lot in the way of insight or, you know, missing information. It was just kind of, you know, Petra and Otto trading jabs with one another, but mostly it was Petra doing it. So yeah, I did think that this one was very cute. You know, it was nice seeing a couple of new chibi-fied versions of characters, you know, with Frederica and Petra. Yeah, I really don't think there's much to talk about from this one at all, so I think I might already be ready to move on to the next one. So yeah, we're just going to move on to that one. Here we go. All right, break time number 3. We're back into Otto's diary. Here we go. That's Garfield.
聖域に入ることができた僕たちはメイザース辺境博の使用人の方に指示されるまま、
Okay.
ガーフィールさんに案内されてここにいるわけです。
Makes sense. Big bonk in his head because he was beat up by Garfield. Aren't you supposed to be the one riding the carriage? Yeah. Yeah, how's anyone supposed to prepare? Is this after everyone disappeared? Yep. You were beat up. A few moments? Did you really? A poke in the forehead. There's another chibi. Everyone's calling him out. Because he's a perverted clown. Yep, everyone's got the wrong idea. It's something he wants, but it's not all he cares about. Ram, of course. Sorry, Ram. Yep. Ram is very mean when she wants to be. And Otto, you would be on the receiving end of that like crazy. Focuses on his sharp teeth. Yep. The teeth. Sorry, I'm gonna have to go back and read that. Yeah, we're just gonna stay here.
生き急ぐ七星は葉っぱを畳むって言うがんな。
What?
あ、いえ、言いますよね。生贄七星は葉っぱをかけるですよね。
言わねえよそんなことは。
Uh,
ちなんですか。
いや、やっぱ
what?
り言うか。
Actually, there might be. Yeah, there's a saying for everything, according to Garfield. Extremely liberal translation of this line. I have no idea what they are saying now. Wait, what? The translator is like, I don't actually know what they're saying here, so whatever. Anyone in the comments want to actually give a proper translation for this line? Because apparently the translator note didn't really have a clue. In case it hasn't been obvious, I had to find my own way to watch these. For some reason, they're not on Crunchyroll. Only the season 1 break times are on Crunchyroll. So I had to find a different source. That's what we're doing right now. So here we get another case of everyone misunderstanding Otto. And I wonder if that's because of the image and the perception that he himself has put out there, where he makes it seem like that's all he cares about because he doesn't want to look vulnerable. He doesn't want to look like he actually is there for people. He's there for Subaru. He's there because he wants to be around these people. I wonder if maybe that's the case and he's putting on this image of, I'm just here for Roswell, I'm just here for this. But then there's probably some truth to that as well, where he actually is here for those reasons because, you know, he does want to sell the oil and he does want to make money and he does want, you know, that prestige and everything like that, commendation. So there's no denying that he actually is probably here for reasons like that, but not for sole reasons like that. So yeah, Garf also misunderstanding Otto, just like everyone else. And it's nice that they kind of give some explanation as to why he hasn't already gone to Roswell here. Because, yeah, it is something that you wonder, like, why has he still not done that? He's been there for ages now. And part of that is because he's scared of Ram. And Ram was like, you will not be visiting Roswell, no way. So he's just been staying away. And, of course, he didn't even know her name because that was his first time meeting her. So I think that that's really funny that that's a little tease into the fact that they have never met each other until this point. And then we of course know a little later on in the season that the two of them build a little bond where they work together alongside one another for Subaru and stuff. So yeah, I think that it's really interesting to see where they first met and then knowing where they kind of are by the end of this half season. Granted, you know, all that progress was undone, so I don't know where they're at right now in terms of, you know, Otto and Ram, but I like to think that they could be friends if they really wanted, or they could have that kind of bond, that relationship. So Garf knocked out Otto with a single poke to the forehead. Otto's trying to recall in his diary that he survived, he made it for several moments, you know, he held himself up and he held out. But now it's making me wonder, like, is everything he's writing in this diary, you know, a complete truth? Is he a reliable narrator? Because he's very clearly telling some lies here where he did not hold out for any moments whatsoever around Garf. And then, of course, you know, we get the whole Garf wanting to know how everyone knew that he was related to Frederica, even though we as viewers know those eyebrows, those teeth, and that hair are all very clearly the same as Frederica's. Doesn't matter any other way you chalk it up or change different things, you still look like her. So yeah, he just can't wrap his head around that. Again, not really a whole lot to talk about from this one. Alright, let's see what we get in this one. Diary of a Petra's struggles. Interesting, okay. So we're done with Otto? Are we doing like 3 per person sort of thing? But it's funny that we're getting like diaries and stuff. It makes sense to see her in her struggles as she's learning. It's kind of really good, yeah. Are you keeping an eye on the door for Beatrice? Aw, of course. The most important task of all. That goes to the pro corner, the pro tally. Beatrice, yeah. She doesn't want to be found. Have an Oh? We're writing that into canon. A lolly.
赤いドリル姿の
Eh.
ドレス姿じゃなくてドリル姿。ドリル姿。ドリル。
Are you gonna think of like Gurren Lagann type shit?
どこかで聞いたような。
Eh.
もうスバルの
Eh.
ごめんって
When you turned her little snow bunny into a
大火力決戦兵
Eh.
ユキウサ
snow bunny.
俺が悪かった。ペトラが怒るのもわかるよ。
スバ
やっぱり
Eh.
俺にはドリルが足りなかった。
Oh my god.
このドリルをど真ん中の四方部分に付け替えることによって実戦にも強く
Ah.
ル。あれが確かドリルだから。
Yeah, you're gonna be looking for a girl wearing a drill?
ドリル
That's really funny.
これなんだろう。ドリルだ。
Psh. Holy shit, Mecha Weapon Beatrice! Ah. That's crazy.
何のことを書いてたんだっけ。とにかく私はスバル様にお願いされてこの
That was very, like, super Frankie.
私はスバルにお願いされてこのお屋敷を頑張って守るのです。いいよね。日記だもん。
It is your diary after all. You can put whatever you want in it.
お姉ちゃんも
Aw,
無事
he
に帰
will.
ってきてね。あとついでにうるさい人も。
Oh, Otto. I was like, who's the noisy guy?
と父さん。
Oh, Toto! Mecha Weapon Beatrice. What a sight that was. It was nice getting to see Petra kind of recalling her struggles, learning and everything, and fitting into her role in this mansion. It's something that you don't really think about because you don't really see a whole lot of it, but she is chronicling how she's looking after Rem. She's looking out for Beatrice, and of course, the most important task she's been given by Subaru to protect the mansion. She's doing that very well. But the whole kind of like cutaway gag with Petra being told that Beatrice wears a drill, a red drill, and then she recalls how Subaru made a drill for the snow bunny. Obviously different kind of drill and everything, but it's very humorous, the wordplay that they did here, like the joke that they went with, and they put on like a really funny bit here, and I did think it was very humorous seeing Beatrice in mecha form. It's something that you would never see anywhere else outside of these shorts. So yeah, very, very humorous, very funny, and yet again, not really a whole lot of insight into things that we'd be missing within the episodes themselves for the season, opposed to what we had for the season 1 break times. Those were kind of telling me stuff at every single break time that maybe weren't in episodes or weren't entirely clear or obvious within the episodes. So I'm wondering if we're going to get any of that at all, because there hasn't been much at all in these break times. I'm still having a ton of fun with them. I'm enjoying them a lot, seeing all the characters and stuff, revisiting old memories, memory snow and everything, and the fact that that has been written into canon I think is really nice. So yeah, just a really nice little episode here. I wonder what the next one's going to hold for us, if we're going to do 3 episodes of Petra's diary and then maybe 3 episodes of someone else's and then 3 episodes of someone else's, if we're going to do kind of that sort of format where it's 3 3 3 3 and then there's one left over at the end. I wonder what that one would be. So yeah, let's move on and see what we get in this next one. Here we go. Never mind, it looks like we're straight back to Otto. I guess that was just a little cutaway one.
いや、本当に参りました。
You've been had.
話し合いをするというので、一人流車で待っていたのに、まさか本当にずっと放置される結果になると
Oh,
は。
poor little Otto.
悪い本気で忘れてた。やっぱりでもよ、合流できたからよかったじゃねえか。
Don't be like that, Subaru. You gotta think about gotta think about our little
合流できたからよか
Otto.
ったじゃねえか。
僕の目をしっかり見て言いましたね、チキショー。
って言ってもガーフィールに行って流車に居残ったのは自分だろ。
それはそうですけど、
パートラッシュもいたんだから寂しくはなかった。
Patrash!
まあ忘れてたのは事実だけど、
その事実が空腹にしみる。
とにかく悪かった。
Damn, you forgot about Patrash? That's so awful, Subaru.
あるんですかね。まだまだ言いたいことはあったけど、
憔悴しきったエミリア様を見ていたので、これ以上は何も言えなかった。
Fair enough.
聖域を解放するための試練に今、エミリア様
Yep,
は挑まれています。
she's really going through it.
エミリア様は本当にま
Oh,
っすぐ
she
で
is. I'm glad
い
you
い方
can
で
see
す。
that.
おっと
Otto.
エミリア様、どうされました？
Is this your oil?
とお話ししてたんだけど、ちょっと一休み。
A
おっと
little break
明日
for
出発なの
Emilia.
で、積み荷の再確認をしているんです。
Ah, you want to make sure that we're on top of things?
エミリア様はやらなくていいんですよ。
いいから遠慮しないの。でもごめんね、軽くて小さいものしか運べないけど。よっこいしょ。
Carries everything?
エミリア様はハーフエルフ。
That she
世界
is.
中の誰もが恐れる
Yeah.
魔女と同じ。
Silver hair too.
400年前に世界を滅ぼしかけた嫉妬の魔女。
400 years ago, almost destroyed the
そんな
world.
魔女と同じ見た目をしたエミリア様。これまでいろい
So
ろと
they say.
大変だったに違いありません。
Well, we know that to be true
たくさ
now,
んの
but
誹謗
you
中
know what
傷
I
も
mean.
受けてきたことでしょう。
Hmm.
決して楽な境遇じゃなかったはずなので。
Yeah, she's had to go
それ
through a
に負け
lot,
ないで王戦に
but
名乗
she
りを上
has
げ
a
た。
positive attitude.
それは本当にすごいことです。
It is. And that's what
そんな
Subaru
エミリア
sees in
様
her.
を支えたいという夏希さんのそんな彼の姿を見て、
ね
僕は本当こいつ
あ
うるせえな。夏希さん、僕は
You want to be his friend. Did you bring the media? Oh, you brought a marker. No. Meat? Why'd you write meat on his head? We had kind of like the worst start in this break time because this one was all about Subaru forgetting about, you know, friends and stuff. He forgot about Petrash of all characters. You know, he forgot about Petrash, he forgot about Otto. Like, what's he doing? How could he do this? How could he forget about Petrash? Forget about Otto for a second? How could he forget Petrash? Petrash has been there for him through so much. So this break time would immediately put Subaru on your shit list, but he has been going through a lot. So, you know, you like when you've got the actual context, you know, you can't give him shit whatsoever here. You can't be nasty, you can't say mean things because he has gone through a lot already up until this point. Right now he just wants to support Emilia. He wants to be there for her. He wants to comfort her. He wants to help her be at ease and everything. And that's what Otto sees. He sees that Subaru is constantly worrying and watching after Emilia. And he starts to think then about Emilia and thinks about how great she is. And he recalls the time when she showed act of kindness towards Otto. She picked up all the luggage so that nobody else would have to do it. You know, she's very kind, she's very thoughtful, and she doesn't think anything differently of anyone, especially not Otto. Otto feels like Emilia is very kind to him, and so he feels this connection with her. He feels this draw to her, and he understands what Subaru sees in her, and he understands why he does all these reckless things and all the things that he does for Emilia. And he sees what Subaru sees in her, because, you know, he sees it himself in her. But he does have this moment where he starts to think about how awful her life must have been, where she was suffering for so long because people were mocking her, calling her names just because of her appearance, because she happens to look like the Witch of Envy, despite the fact that she is not. She is Emilia. And yet people fear the Witch of Envy. It makes sense that they would fear her too, but they don't have proof that that is her. Like there's nothing to indicate it whatsoever apart from appearance. So it's just really sad that poor Emilia has to go through all that. And Otto is also seeing, you know, like, you've gone through all the slander and still you're holding your head up high, you're kind, you're very nice, and you're doing all these things for others. You know, he recognizes that she's gone through a lot and she hasn't lost her kindness. She hasn't lost that beautiful side of her. She's still a great person. And I love that this episode, or this break time, kind of went in this direction, because it looked like it was going to be a very standard, you know, break time, but it kind of veered in the direction of Otto recognizing the greatness in Emilia's character. And I think that that's really nice because we don't really know at this point in the series, within the episodes themselves, what Otto thinks of other characters, what other characters think of Otto. So it's nice to see that insight into Otto's mind because he's still a character we know not very much about. So then, of course, Subaru shows up with a marker and draws all over his face because he happened to go to sleep. And yeah, what a meanie. I don't know why he wrote meat on his forehead, but he did. So that's, you know, interesting and funny. But yeah, I think we're ready to move on to the next one. So we're going to move on and see what we get in the next break time. Let's go. All right, we are reloading back into number 6 with another Otto's Diary. Here we go. Break time.
夏希さんは桃神のメイドラムさんを連れてアラム村に戻って行かれました。
Okay. It's nice getting a reminder where we're at.
何もしてないのに戦力外？言っておきますけど、こう見えて僕夏希さんよりは。そういうことじゃねえって。じゃあどうして？
Damn
お前は
what?
相談でこっちに来たんだ。
Yeah, that's what you all think.
部外者。 あくまで部外者ってことにしとけば後で言い逃れする面目も立つだろ。言わせんなバカ。話し合いにがっつり参加させておいて今更ですよ。無駄ですよその気遣い。ですよね。まあちょっと留守したら戻ってくっから。お前はここで小粋なバカンス。
Take it easy if you wish.
ないですよ。とにもかくにも俺たちがいない間はいい子にしていてくれ。マルス。
Constantly being removed from situations and uninvolved.
震えてたら作業進まねえけどね。
Quiver.
話し合いにこの男を同席させないのは当然にしても。
What?
本当にひどい表現。すまねえ。全部終わったらまとめて謝るよ。
What?
夏希さん、その謝罪の対象に。
Yeah, you are Ram. Because.
含まれてるよ。
Okay.
だからちゃんといい子にしてんだぞ。
He's playing you, Otto. He's playing you.
まったく。僕はこっちでやれることをやっておきますよ。
Do what you can. That's all you can do.
にはなれませんが、エミリア様にもできる限りのことは。
That's good. That's what we want to hear.
どうかしました？
驚いたわ。意外と考
Ah.
えて。
You actually put words together to form a logical thought.
と言っても肉の盾になるくらいしか用途はなさそうだけど。
そんな用途しか？
Well, he certainly did become a meat shield for Subaru at one point.
こらこらラム。
Try a single poke to the forehead.
なんだぜ。なでなで
Our little Otto, you gotta treat him with care. Give him the love that he needs.
思った以上の拾い物をしてきたものね。
Something and you're talking about Otto? Oh no.
ちゃんと世話するのが条件よ。
That's crazy.
おっと。はい。うんちおしっこは決められた場所でやれよ。
Oh no. Not the dog analogy.
まったく夏希さんはどんな時も冗談っぽく振る舞っちゃって無理してるのがバレバレなんですよね。冗談じゃなかったんです。
Oh no.
そういう扱い待って。
Wait, what is Garf there for? I don't understand that part. But obviously this is supposed to be like a little potty for him. I think it's funny and cute also that it's a little land dragon. So yeah, this was a nice insight into why Otto didn't go with them. It's because he was asked to stay behind, because at this point he's very irrelevant to the story, but it's nice to see from these break times that he was still talked to, he was still considered, and he was still part of these conversations, but he was asked to stay behind, take care of the village, I guess, like, you know, just be here and stay put, you know, that because he's not really going to be able to do much for them if he goes with them. So I think it's very important that we get to see these little conversations, because from Otto's point of view, or from our point of view of Otto at this point in the series when we're watching the episodes, he's just not there. He's very not present whatsoever. And even Ram shows up and calls him an irrelevant character, you know, basically calls him a side character, not important whatsoever. And I think that that's very funny, because, like, yeah, as a viewer, you can kind of see that because he hasn't really done much. He hasn't really been present. But we know that's going to change. With hindsight, foresight, you know, we can look back and say that that's going to change. But we know going into the second half of season 2, that's definitely going to change because Otto has poised himself to be a super important character alongside Subaru. So yeah, they start doing this whole bit and joke about how Otto is a little puppy who was lost and Subaru brought him in and he wants to keep him and he's being trained to use the potty. Just all this silly nonsense that is very Subaru joke-esque, but also very Ram. Ram likes to go along with these crazy scenarios too, almost in a way to belittle the person that she's talking about. And yeah, we get to see that very much so here. But it's very humorously well done here. I do think that it was very funny. Besides that, there's not really a whole lot to learn here. He's having to stay behind here. He's been referred to as a meat shield, which is very, very true. That's exactly what he became around this time in the series. Like, I can't remember which episode it was, but it's somewhere around this point, you know, between episodes like 6 to 10, where he does literally become a meat shield for Subaru. He jumps in the way of Garf. But yeah, I think I'm ready to move on to the next one, see what we get in number 7. Here we go. Here we go. Garf sounding very brr. That you are. Oh dear. This is true. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize my mic was so far away. Yep, you were trying to make us flip on our friends. I'm glad we're getting to see this conversation. This is really cool, actually. Even if it's like a dramatized version that they have. Look at him go, Otto. Let's go. Never break a promise. Absolutely. Whatever that means, sure. Damn, we throw the glowy stone back. You're gonna be my enemy. Absolutely nothing. Nothing's gonna happen. Oh shit. Ooh. Did you speak to the fireflies and get them to do something? Does he have control over, like, animals in general? Like, that's never really been fully deep dived into. But we've seen little glimpses for sure. Oh shit, he said the F word. That's crazy. He said bad word. That's crazy. This will cost you. Of course. You've never been in this position before. Was that your watch guard? Hell yeah. Aww. No, but he will say a lot of other mean things. I'm really glad that this episode dived into that conversation between Otto and Garf, because we saw a little tease of that towards the end of an episode, and then the next episode started. We didn't really know what was going on, but when Otto showed up, he was there to help us. So we very clearly turned down Garf, but we never saw what actually went down during that conversation. And here, you know, we're getting the not so reliable narrator himself Otto telling us what happened. I don't know if everything that we're seeing here is exactly how it went down, but I'd like to believe that there's enough truth in here that we can trust what we're seeing here. You know, Otto talks about his family being proud and how they would never break a promise, and that's what makes a man. And despite the fact that they're traitors, you know, they follow through a promise. They will go through with whatever they're doing. And he's really made a blunder with his oil, and he realizes that. And he feels like, in the same vein, Subaru might be the only one who can kind of get him out of this pit that he's in with all his oil. So he's kind of just going along with it for now anyway. But Garf very clearly starts getting pissed off, and he starts screaming, "You know what's going to happen to you. You know what this means, blah, 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 blah." And that's when Otto asks, "What time is it? Isn't this the time where Emilia should be taking part in the trial? So shouldn't you be over there?" And Garf is just kind of like, "I don't care about that. What I'm talking about is right now, blah, blah, blah." He's very in the moment, Garf. And that's when Otto decides that he's going to speak with or commune with these fireflies, and they blind Garf for just long enough for Otto to run off. And, you know, he looks like he jumps off a cliff into probably water or something. I'm not entirely sure, but you know, it's very clear from this moment that Otto is able to kind of do like the opposite of what Ram can do. Ram can see through creatures and stuff, whereas it seems like Otto can speak to them and understand them, and they will help him out here and there. We've seen it time and time again with, you know, Petra and other land dragons and stuff that he's been controlling. We've seen it with other things as well. It's not coming to mind, but I feel like we've seen something else very specifically, especially very recently, with this kind of stuff. And now we get to see it within this break time where he can literally speak to them and control them. He doesn't use literal words, so it's almost like he's able to send out vibe waves or something. Like, I'm not entirely sure how it works, but I think his abilities, or whatever you would call them, are very, very interesting. I'd honestly be very interested to see if we get a deeper explanation into what he can do and how he does it. I think that would be very interesting to me and something that I would love to see. But something I think is really interesting here as well is Otto saying, "I respect your position, so please respect mine." You know, he's very respectful, but also, you know, he makes it very clear that he understands why Garf is doing this, and he hopes Garf will understand why he is too. But yeah, besides, you know, that conversation with Garf, there's not really a whole lot to talk about here, so I'm going to move on to the next one. But that was so insightful. This is exactly what I was looking for from these break time shorts, and we're finally getting it in 7 deep. It's not that I haven't been enjoying these, but the first set of break times, especially, forget about petite times, break times, were so insightful. So I was really hoping we would get more of that here, and it's taken a bit for things to kind of be super insightful here, and we're finally getting that now. And so I hope that we continue on this and we continue to see that build upon. So we're going to see what we get in this next one. Here we go. This one says Maid's Days, so I guess we get 3 of Otto, 1 of Petra, 3 of Otto, 1 of Petra. I wonder if that's how we're going to be doing this. So here we go. Yep. We get Frederica. Aw, she's doing amazing. Yeah, very proud. She's putting her whole being into this work. But she tries and she does her best. She does an amazing job. The snow? Right? Memory snow? Okay. I bet that was a mess. Anything could have happened. You could have knocked over things. He comes up with these crazy things. For sure. But something needs to happen. Oh shit, really? That's cool. Wow. So cute. Well, we're gonna teach you as much as we can. Don't let that interfere with your work. Yep, you don't just work somewhere just because you feel a certain way about someone. That's true, it's very dangerous here. Yep. But they're also endangered in the village, so what's different? That's sweet. So I have no choice but to hire you. She's already becoming a good maid. Okay. What? You'll let us hope this much, right, Emilia? That's an interesting way to end that. Yeah, this was definitely a step back. You know, we got to see that conversation that I don't think anyone really thought about, where Petra was hired. Well, actually, maybe they were, where it's like, how did they hire you? Why would they hire a child? So we get to see that conversation. And it's very much a case of Frederica being like, hey, there's going to be a lot of crazy shit that goes down here. People are going to come try to kill you. You're going to have to do a lot of hard work in the mansion itself. And Petra's just like, yep, I want to do anything I can to help out Subaru. And yeah, it's very nice. It's very well, like it tells you a lot about Petra. It also tells you a lot about Frederica, the fact that she's bringing these things up, you know, like it's not like, oh, we need someone and you're here to work. Okay, you're hired. Like she literally says all these things that are going to be difficult. And of course, Subaru brought everyone here to play tag once and Frederica is not happy about that. Just maybe don't tell Ram about that. That would be dangerous to tell Ram about that. She would actually kill Subaru if she heard that. But yeah, I think we're going to move on to the next one. Not really too much to talk about from this one, but it was really sweet. So let's see what we get in the next one, which will be number 9, I think. Maybe 8, I'm not entirely sure. I've already lost count. Here we go. It is number 9, and this is Fang of Iron report. So is this going to be... I can't remember his name, but it's the... it's really bugged me that I've forgotten his name. It's the beastman who was in Anastasia's camp. We'll see what we get here anyway. Let's go. Yep. It is! What's his name though? It's nice to get caught up with old friends, right? It's been a while. That village. Does Tivi write everything? Damn. Why do you do all that? That time. Unremarkable. Oh, this is when they brought him back. But didn't they think he was an enemy? Yeah, that's right. That's never gonna happen. Shit. That's scary. But he's not a scary guy. But still, poor Otto.
兄ちゃん、目つきの悪い兄ちゃんについていったけど、元気しとるかな。
今頃ガブガブ食べられてた。
Not quite.
ほらほら、いつまでも油売ってへんで。
There she is.
そろそろ始めるよ。
It's been a while since we've seen any of these other royal candidates. Interesting that she's the first that we see.
懐かしい話やね。
Ah.
お嬢捕まってた。
お前も平太郎と一緒に捕まっとった。
Wait, what?
耳は捕まったりしないし。いや、お姉ちゃん一緒に捕まってたですよ。
Everyone's captured.
平太郎と捕まってたのはティビー。耳は捕まらないよ。
What?
その後やったな。耳たちがうちの子になったんは。そうそう。耳お嬢と一緒に捕まってた。
Ah, so you were captured. Okay.
ということは、あのお兄さんも捕まってたから、いつかお嬢の子になるのでは。
Maybe one day, but probably not. He's Team Emilia.
でもそのお兄さんも証人やって話やし、何より夏樹くんのそばにおるんやったら近いうちにまた。
Very soon. Foreshadowing.
そろそろ打ち合わせ行くで。
はいです。あのお兄さんをガブガブする打ち合わせ。
The meeting about eating that guy. What? So this was very cool, going back to see the moment that Otto was captured and brought here with Subaru, that reuniting moment and everything back in season 1. But the thing I find most interesting is that Anastasia was captured once, along with the Mimi, Tivi, and the other one I can't remember the name of. What does that mean for Anastasia? Does that mean she was, you know, kind of captured as like some sort of slave or some sort of worker or something like that? What's that about? Was she captured as a prisoner of war? I can't imagine that was just a throwaway line. I feel like that's a little tease towards something to come in the future, something related to her character that we don't know about just yet, unless it's talking about something that should be super obvious to me and I'm forgetting about it. If that is the case, you must forgive me. And then we do, of course, get that tease that we will be meeting up with Anastasia sometime soon, as she herself says. So I wonder if that's something we're going to do once season 2, part 2 begins, where we're going to go back to the capital. We're going to enlist people here. I don't know if that's the case, because I feel like our best bet is to go straight to the mansion, employ Beatrice, and get everyone out of there. I feel like that's honestly our only bet here. But this is very much a tease for something that's coming, you know, talking about the merchant. And so because he's with the merchant, we're going to get to see, we're going to be meeting up again sometime soon. So yeah, very curious, very interesting. And I think that this is going to be something that we need to keep in the back of our minds going forward, maybe. But let's see what we get in this next break time. Here we go. Maid's days once again. Are we done with Otto at this point?
もしそこの可愛らしいお方、少しよろしいですの？はい。一緒に眠るのは構いませんが、明日の朝も早いんですのよ。おしゃべりの続きはお茶の時に取っておいて。
Yeah, let's sleep and we can talk tomorrow. Aw, so cute.
いい子ですわね。姉様。もう一つだけ。何ですの？私、少し昔のことを思い出しちゃいました。
What could that be?
初めて姉様とお会いした時のこと。
The meeting? Oh, back when she worked here prior to when she left. 2 years ago, before you left initially, who knows where you went? The lovely girl over there.
そうですの。少し尋ねたいことがありますのよ。尋ねたいこと。
What's your question?
私で答えられるか。ありがとうございます。尋ねたいのは村長様のお宅ですのよ。実は私、こちらにある旦那様のお屋敷に来ることは。
It's normally Ram and Ram that come here, right?
名字様のお屋敷に新しく来られた方ですね。綺麗な人なのに見覚えがない。不思議に思ってたんです。
Oh, that's very sweet.
まあ、お上手ですのね。じゃあ、お屋敷にはずっといらっしゃるんですね。いいえ、今日はたまたまですの。基本的にはお屋敷の旦那様のお世話は別の子たちに任せているので。そうなんですか。ちょっと残念かも。 残念ですの？
Yes. Well, you get to know her plenty now, Petra. Oh god, what was that? The moe moe? That's crazy. Look at that face. That's so funny.
そうだったんですのね。でもどうして今になって？もしそこの可愛らしいお方、少しよろしいですの？
That's what you said at the start of this break time, yeah.
さっき姉様が言った言葉は2年前私に初めて話しかけてくれた時の言葉と同じです。
Yeah, it seemed very random here when she said it, like she's sitting right beside you.
あの時も必死で我慢しましたが、やっぱり可愛い。
She is.
ポコンですの？ええ、ポコンなんです。
And you're gonna be great friends, I'm sure. You're gonna have plenty to talk about over tea and over little snacks and stuff. But yeah, this was very cute. It makes sense that Petra at least met Frederica at least once prior when Frederica worked at the mansion. You know, that's something that yet again you wouldn't even think about, but it makes sense to address something like that, because presenting it as though they'd never met before is kind of curious when Frederica did, prior to, you know, coming back recently, work at the mansion. But yeah, this is just very much break time about how cute Petra is. So yeah, we all know this. We all know that that's the case. It's always been the case, but we're going to move on to the next one. So let's see what we get. Here we go. Diary of the Dark Work Sisters. Is this Elsa? That's kind of scary if it is. Do we really? It is. Oh my. Elsa without the cloak on and everything.
別に機嫌なんて悪くなっていないのだけれど。なってるわよ。エルザが機嫌悪い時って決まって傷口をえぐってるの。そう？
Oh no.
そうなの。そう。そんなにあのお兄さんが気に入らなかったの？気に入らない。そうね。
Didn't like him at all.
どんなところが？
Huh.
人の行動というものはね、死が目の前にやってきた時、二つに分かれるの。知ってるわよ。死を受け入れるか。
Fight or flight type thing.
そう。どちらも命と向き合った結果、あなたは抗ったわね。そうだっけ？あの時、あなたに噛みつかれた。
Oh really? You employed her a long while back when she fought back? お兄さんはどっちだったの？
どちらでもなかったのよ。
He chose neither.
死に抗うわけでもなく、死を受け入れるわけでもなく。今目の前にある死に向き合っていないというか。
Yeah, he was looking towards something else. He was thinking about other outcomes, other things that he would have to do or whatever. Death isn't the end. Because their belly will be re-intact again very soon.
三つ編み上手になったわね。初めて会った時は髪もバラバラだったのに。これだけは教え方が良かったのよ。
Do it yourself.
そろそろ私にやらせるサボり癖をなんとかしなさいってば。あなたの方が上手なんだもの。
We're back to biting.
別にちょっと昔を思い出しただけよ。
Did you open her wound?
大丈夫。もう噛みつかない。でしょ？
We'll see.
これはじゃれてるだけ。あの頃とは違うわ。
Yeah, last time you were fighting for your life.
もう私のお腹を開けたいと思ってないわけ？あなたの中身に興味がないわけじゃないけど、こののんびりした時間を壊すほどの魅力はないわ。安心して。
Maybe another time, is what she just said. You're writing reports? Oh, for Roswell, I guess. The same eyes as that boy. Roswell. This is very interesting that we got to meet up with Elsa, and I can't even remember her name. I feel like it starts with an M, where we're getting to see what they got up to after, you know, all the awful killing that they did for our group, you know, the episode with Beatrice and everything. And it looks like we're getting to learn a little bit about Elsa's habits. She picks open her scabs and stuff, and it's just a very curious little quirk that makes her her, I guess. I don't think that's going to be super important, but it's nice to see that this cut that she has on her arm might be indicative of the fact her arm was cut off when she was wearing the cloak. So, despite the cloak seemingly negating the damage that she took during all of that, it looks like she did still take a little damage. She didn't die, but she took a little damage, I guess, is what I'm trying to say here. So, yeah, that's very curious. And also, the way that Elsa's talking about Subaru here is super interesting because she very clearly sees that he doesn't think about life, death, or anything like that. He's thinking about what comes beyond that, and she could sense that just by looking at him. So she hated it. She hated the fact that all the things she's doing, she felt no pleasure from it, from him, because he didn't care. He wasn't in fight mode, he wasn't in flight mode, he wasn't in roll over and take it mode. He was just in his thinking about what comes next mode, and she did not like that because death should be final, and that's what she's all about. And then of course they talk about that employer you hate at the end, and we know that employer to be Roswell, but I guess at this point that wasn't a fact, that wasn't something we knew, so it makes sense that they wouldn't reveal it right away. But the mention of eyes like that, like eyes like Subaru, is very curious, because I wonder if she's saying that from a literal physical appearance perspective, or from a more like they have the same eyes when you look at them, kind of like, I don't know if that makes sense, but you know, when like the sort of eyes you see when you see someone, talking about personality and the way they are and everything and their outlook and everything. So I wonder if that's what she means, and if that's the case, Subaru, you got to be careful you don't accidentally turn into Roswell here. But yeah, we're going to move on to the next one. This one was very interesting, very curious, and very cool to see. Very much something different here. So let's see what we get in this next one. Let's go. Second to last one that we're checking out today, another Maid's Days one. So I'm not expecting a whole lot of insight, but let's go. Let's see what we get here. We're having fun. These are a ton of fun. Maid the Sunday, so I'm sure there is. I'm sure Ram feels the same way about you, though. Ni-san-ma. Okay.
あんな素直で可愛い、しかも私のことをちゃんと姉様と呼んでくれる。どこかのラムとは全然。
Unlike Ram. What was that? That was like a bad memory, so it got this real static, awful filter over it. That's really funny. Come in. You jumped to that too quickly.
スバルじゃなくてスバル様でしたよ。ごめんなさい。そのくらいで怒ったりしません。
He is also a servant, so yeah.
物覚えのいい方ではありませんでしたから、言葉遣いを強制するのはそれは苦労したものです。私、墓穴を掘ってしまいましたよね。
How did you speak before? Okay. Not very different. It just didn't come out right? Ah, you sounded very Emilia-esque, is that it?
私はフレデリカ・バウマン、メイザース邸のメイドですじゃ。
It didn't sound very different to me, but, you know, I'm sure that that's just the translation. Desuja. What does Desuja mean? Let's go to sleep. She just opened up to you. She was vulnerable and you're laughing. Transform into your beast form, chibi version. So this one we learned a couple of interesting things, those being that the way, you know, Maid speak with one another, the way they address each other, Nisama and everything like that. And yeah, I think that it's very funny the way they present Ram here, because yeah, I could definitely see Ram being like this. I kind of made an allusion to that at the start of this break time, where Frederica said something along the lines of, you know, she's still got a lot to learn in terms of Petra, but I made a comment that I'm sure Ram would say the exact same thing about you, Frederica, because Ram is very on top of everything, and, you know, it just made sense in my mind that she would kind of think the same way of you. So yeah, we get to see this memory that is not a good memory, and so that's why it's got this filter and harsh, grainy effect over it, and, you know, it sounds very difficult to hear. And then Frederica shares that she was raised by her grandmother, and so she used very old language when trying to sound polite, and so it came across a certain way. And she had to learn to correct that. She had to learn to adjust and learn to speak in such a way that would blend in and fit in with everyone here. So she did that great, and she did a great job with it. And she shares that with Petra, that if Petra's ever struggling, don't worry, I went through the same thing, you know, that sort of thing. And I wonder if this, you know, living with her grandmother is important because of the whole Garf relationship. I wonder if there's something there about the grandmother. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to find out eventually down the line. But yeah, she speaks in such a way that it makes Petra laugh. And Petra is such a silly little bean that she just kicks her feet up and starts giggling and laughing and everything like that. It's very sweet. It's very cute. But it's also very funny. So yeah, I think we're going to move on to the next one. So let's see what we get in this next one, the final break time for this video. If you guys have been enjoying this, please leave a like and subscribe if you have not done so already, and comment down below letting me know both your favorite that we checked out here today, all these break times, and also any of the information within here that maybe I didn't pick up on properly or missed, or anything that you're surprised was in these break time shorts that was not included in the series itself, the episodes, I mean. So yeah, here we go. Final one, number 13. Let's go. Oh, it looks like we're starting off with a beat up at Thrash. So this is right after Otto brings her back after he saved her. After she saved him, rather. So yeah, we're going to see what we get here in this final one. I'm glad we get to see a little chibi Petrash though. He is. Back to Otto. Finishing it the way we started it. You'll have your say plenty going forward. I'm sure of it. He does. Aww. Petrash.
正直今は一つでも励ましのメッセージが欲しいところなんだが、聖域内大聖堂横の竜舎にお住まいのペンネームスマキグリーンさん。何言ってるんですか。夏木スバルさん、いつも楽しく拝見しておりますってストーカーかよ。何言ってるんですか。そんな感じで励ましのメッセージって。Okay.
That didn't sound too encouraging.
いやもうそれくらい大好きですって声が今の俺には欲しいんだって。
I just need someone to tell me good things. That's true, but then we're going to see him in a broken state again at the end of the episode, which is really sad. That's what you say. That's not true. You jumped in front of Garf for us and took that smack. So that's not true at all. We know the real you. Oh?
いや、思い出したんだよ。ああ、そうだった。自分の身が危うくなったら、スタコラさっさ。か。ええ、当然ですよ。お前は逃げないよ。
Yep, Subaru remembers.
お前は俺を置いて逃げないよ。
You'll jump in front of it, in fact. You'll see if Subaru.
お前は俺の
You're a hero.
友達だ。
Aw, you're his friend. Off we go.
夏希さんは変なことを分かっているくせに肝心なことはまるで分かってないんですよね。
That's true. Well, he can.
それを分からせてやるために行きますか。なんてったって僕は彼の
Yay! And that's when we go off and find him. That's a nice way to end this little list with a little declaration, self-declaration from Otto that he is indeed Subaru's friend. So sadly, this one didn't really give us a whole lot of insight either, but it was just really nice getting to see more of that dynamic between Subaru and Otto. It's a really interesting dynamic, a really fun one to be around, and one that I think is going to flourish and grow stronger than ever before going forward. So I'm very interested to see just where that goes and how deep they build upon that relationship, you know, in terms of the writing and everything, and if Otto will actually play a huge part in this upcoming arc if we're moving on to a different arc now that the first half is done, because Subaru is going to depend on Otto now, because Otto has been trying to help Subaru for a while now and Subaru's always passing him off and always leaving him behind. So this is time for Otto to step up. This is time for Otto to prove his worth to Subaru and to make it so that Subaru always has a friend no matter what. He will always be there for him, and I love that so much, even though Petrash is always there. But Petrash is someone who just loves Subaru without question and will do anything for Subaru. So, you know, with Otto, they can have this back and forth conversation, and I think that's really nice. That's exactly what Subaru needs, and I think that his personality and his character is going to be one that really just brings Subaru to that next stage in his character development and brings him out of the slump that he's been in, where he sees his life as nothing but a token that can be played or whatever, you know, just used over and over again. But yeah, this was an absolutely adorable break time. I loved seeing the dynamic so much. I love seeing Otto speak up to Subaru, and the way Subaru is with Otto, of course, is hilarious. But yeah, this was such a nice one. I'm so glad we were able to check this one out. I hope that you guys have enjoyed all these videos, these break times anyway, and I will be back with more season 2 very soon. Maybe next week, because like I said, I have a very busy week this week, so getting videos up in general is going to be a task. But yeah, we're going to just wrap this one up. Thank you so much, guys, for everything. You guys are amazing. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe if you've not done so already. And comment down below letting me know all the things that I asked for previously, your favorite of this list, what your surprise wasn't included in the episodes that was included here, and maybe anything that is mentioned within these break times that maybe I didn't pick up on or I didn't really talk about. But yeah, that's going to do it for me for today. I hope that you guys are having a great day today and that you're able to take it easy. I will see you in the next one. Take care.